Grand Slam Track Philly is upon us again, and now we're taking a look at the long sprints. So we have a very similar field to like what we saw in Miami. We have a couple of returners from Jereem Richards who won that slam. We have Alex Ogando, one of the you can call him an international Avenger when we're talking about like the 200 if we want, right? Always making finals. We have Matthew Smith, the first slam winner in Kingston. And you have new names like a Matthew Boling, right, in this field coming jumping into the long sprints. So this is a pretty intriguing field. We may see some things mix up. We may see some things change, or we may see some things I don't know stay the same. But I don't know. What do you kind of take away at looking at this men's long sprints field?
Well, there's two things that stand out because really three things because there's almost like
Mm,
there's each slam has its own narrative since we talk about storytelling. The story from the first slam is Matthew Hudson Smith,
hmm
like just kind of just holding it down, coming away as the victor. So then that puts him on the shelf. Once you win one, you're on the shelf, and from that point on, you're a winner. So now we know you can do it. So you might do it again. Then you get the Jereem Richards, Alex Ogando situation, specifically the 200, where they go worldly down to the thousandth. I don't see
Yep.
this going anything different in terms of them
Yeah.
deciding to go substantially slower, given whatever conditions they actually have. So I don't think anybody running with them in the 200, not the way I just saw. I mean,
No, you don't
but
need Kenny Bednarek to take any of them out.
yeah,
Like
but the
literally.
literally, but the only person here who, because I'm looking at the 200 first, because that's where the spread is wider. The only person here is the one they brought the extra name, Matthew Boling, who he is the athlete who is probably one of the greatest track and field athletes that we have in this generation, but he's a track and field athlete. And I'm talking about the complete package. So
Yeah.
as a result, not like any one event, but I mean, he's still gone 20.3 this year in a
hmm
race that he won, or a meet that he won for that matter. It was in the 400, he broke 45, which,
Yeah.
this field is moving. These fields are
Yeah.
moving in the four. But I'm saying, like, I think he's going to get third in the two. I don't think he's getting second, but
No.
let me say, what I'm saying is winning the slam, if you are Matthew Boling, let's just live in the crazy world where he does. Let's just live in that crazy world for a second. That would actually be huge to me for where he's
Mm.
been to where he is. That said, I don't think that's the world we'll be living in. I think we'll be living in a world where he's fighting for third or fourth.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I don't even know if I have him third or fourth overall. I think in the two he'll definitely do better. But I do agree that like in a world, even not even winning, like finishing top three here for Matthew Boling. Because if we're looking at this field, like you said, you got Matthew Hudson Smith, you got Jereem Richards, you got Alex Ogando. These are all guys who have made world championship and or Olympic, not actually all of them, world championship and Olympic finals. They've all made them. And many of them have medals. Matthew Boling not only doesn't have, well, he has relay medals, but individually doesn't have medals.
Yeah, yeah,
He hasn't made an
different.
individual team, obviously not made a final, and he doesn't even have a major shoe contract. Like he's
Yeah,
technically, and I don't know his situation, but he's an unsponsored athlete right now,
yeah.
sprinter right now. So this would be a massive. Like, we just saw, Ja'Cory Patterson. I don't know what Matthew Bowling's situation is. I don't know if he's working a job or anything, but like this could be a big situation for him if he actually shows up. Now, like you, I don't think he's gonna win. I probably even have him lower than you do, but I agree that at least this could be a big situation for him.
I mean, hey, I'm just gonna keep an eye on him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like for the purposes of story, like for whatever the next step is in his career, like I think that Matthew Bowling being able to show up and show out at the slam would be wondrous because at the end of the day he's somebody who's really paying the price for the lack of infrastructure in the sport.
Mm,
That's why like for people who don't get it, track and field in its team structure, if you think about a conference championship in D1, he's who you want. You want him because it's like, oh, I can get you with the jumps. You can run a 4x4. I can run you on open four if I have to, run you in a 200, run you in a 100. And he could do all those things at a quality level where you're going to get value, even if
Yeah.
that value, it's kind of like what Lance Lang eventually became for Arkansas, like the Swiss Army sprinter, as they called him, but different because
Mm,
this guy could jump. So that said, I'm not jumping out the window. Jereem Richards, I think he's going to do it again.
yeah.
I think he's going to win the 200. I think Ogando's going to have something to say about it. Let's clarify. But
Yeah.
I think Jereem Richards is between the 2 and the 4, the combination between, like, even if he gets second, I think he'll still be, you know,
Yeah. He'll
right
be good
there in the
enough.
4.
Yeah.
Where if he might be able to win it going second. This might be one of those weeks.
Yeah. Because, like you said, no one's the only person who could touch him in the two is Alex Ogando. And Alex is not doing well enough in the
The 4,
400.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, this is dreams. But then after that, I don't know about you. I'm looking at maybe Matthew Hudson Smith. I think he has the potential to do pretty well. Uh, Even though he didn't do as well in Miami, but he won the first slam and he probably realized it's like, okay, I need to step things back up. And he actually had a pretty good 400 in Miami. He actually was kind of close to Jereem in Miami in the 400. But I think he's probably like, all right, I need to step things back up. In Kingston, he won the 200. Now this is before Jereem was looking good. This is before Alex came in. So I don't know. I'm looking at Jereem Richards and Matthew Hudson Smith probably as my top two. And then I think I'm going to throw Alex Ogando in there because I think he'll do well enough in the four to hold a top three spot. That's what I'm looking at as my top three.
That's fair. I mean, I can't really get mess with it. I mean, just to be different. No, I can't say it. I don't think I can justify it. Bowling is my wild card. He's my wild card because his 200 is going to be, to me, I think he's going to get third.
Mm,
So that's 10.86 points. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
his 400, I think I mean, if you look at the way the point scores might fall, I think this is going to be a lower point scoring event. Like event like as far
probably.
as like is more parity. So he might come away with like 10, 10 points, 10, 11 points, but that might be enough to
It
sneak
could
in
be.
there. I
It could
mean,
be.
certainly be fourth, but I'm gonna go Jereem Richards still at the top just because I know that he wants to come back and validate. Like I think winning one slam for him isn't enough. That's if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah, yeah.
wants to win another one. Everybody wants to win one, but I think he wants to win it differently. And like even the interviews he did post competition and just some of the stuff that he did, like it seemed like okay, well, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
told me not to doubt you. I know I doubted you once before, and there were things I didn't know about. You came back and showed like, no, 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 no. Hey, I was off my game. I don't make any excuses. Now I'm on. So for that reason, there you go. I'm gonna take Matthew Hudson Smith second. No, sorry. I'm gonna take Alex second because I think if
Okay.
he wins that 200, those 12 points will whole keep him up there.
Mm,
Like
okay.
like when
Yeah, that
when
makes
when the
sense.
like
Yeah.
he'll because even if he gets like 3 points, like it's okay.
Yeah, then yeah, once you get 12, it's hard to
Yeah, it's
you're going to
hard
be
to
in the
fall
top
off
3.
hard.
Yeah.
And so but that said, this is the long sprints. When we move over to the short hurdles,
Mhm.
Cordell Tinch is coming back.
This is this is going to be a race because we got Cordell Tinch, like he was out in China, killing it, doing crazy things, going what number 4 all time. Now he's back in the field, coming back from Kingston. Trey Cunningham, who just swept in Miami, he's in the field. Sasha Zoya, of course, he's a racer. He won Kingston actually ahead of Cordell Tinch. He's back in here. This is a this is a pretty good field. At the top level, I think this is actually a pretty good field. I mean, how do you think this one might play out?
Do you think Cordell Tinch and Trey Cunningham are the best hurdlers right now in this field?
Absolutely, absolutely, by
So
far.
you kind of got to start your negotiations there and then work your way down.
So what do you think? So Cordell Tinch, he has a faster time this year, but Trey Cunningham might be more consistent considering he beat out. Yeah, I know Cordell technically beat out Grant at that one Diamond League at Grant kind of like hit the hurdle at, but like Trey Cunningham actually beat Grant head to head, like fully finished race, no issues. So who I don't know, who do you think? Who would you take?
I would take Trey Cunningham right now,
Mm,
and that's trying to be as level-headed as possible and not get emotional. For that reason, I think you got to take him now because, well, remember we're talking about the whole package. What he showed me in the 100, because Jamal Britt can run with him. I just don't trust him in the one in the 110 hurdles. So
yeah,
for
that's
that,
true.
not in this field. So for that reason, Trey Cunningham's likely going to win the 100.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, if Jamal Britt wins the 100, I mean, that would be the most wild thing for the purposes of the slam because you just gave 12 points to a guy who nobody was checking for in the hurdles.
Man.
But so let's assume that Trey Cunningham wins the 100. From that point on, like he'll be right up there when the hurdles come back out.
hmm
And Cordell Tinch, I know he'll be not no. I know he could win the 110 hurdles, and yes, he had the fastest time like up until now, which he's done before, like in the
Yeah,
past. Like again, he's a name that when the Olympic Games came, he wasn't there because of the American system. But I mean, he's one of our great talents. Again, a bowling S talent, somebody who can do a little bit of not a little, a lot of everything.
a lot. Yeah, he's actually
He can
another
high
one.
jump, long jump, hurdle, and obviously he can run without the hurdle if you need him to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for that reason, his position is track and field, or his event is track and field, but the hurdles is what he's doing. So, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place because I've got a lot of reasons to want to take Cordell Tinch, but
Mm,
now I'm still saying like, if Trey is going to run like this across the board, y'all are going to be severely limited.
yeah. Th- That's the thing. It's tricky. Trey Cunningham just looks to be on one right now. I think even though Cordell ran fast, it's like Trey Cunningham. I feel like Trey can match his energy in those hurdles. Like you said, no one is touching Trey in the 100. Like I think that's gone. Jamal Britt on paper is the closest, but like Trey got that. The hurdles, Cordell could put up a good fight, but I just think when you beat out Grant Holloway, who is like the best guy. Like obviously he's injured, he has the wild card, he's a defending world champion, Olympic champion. Like you beat out Grant Holloway in a head-to-head race all the way to the line. That I think is different than just doing it. And again, this isn't like to disparage Cordell. Like obviously Cordell, he won Diamond League races. Like he beat out top guys, but Trey Cunningham has just been like clicking off those races. So I have Trey sweeping this slam again, but I have Trey and I have Cordell going one
I
two.
don't think he's going to sweep it though. I don't
You
have
don't
him.
think so?
I think Cordell Tinch will win the 110 hurdles. I just don't know if it'll be enough.
Really? Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
okay.
Like that's not like it's because see that's the thing. It's like it's kind of like the Kira Nugent situation on the women's side, where
Mm,
in the last slam, the 100 was hers.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
there was no
yeah.
one to stop her. So as a result, the 100 was hers. And in this one, like we didn't know that there was no one to stop Trey Cunningham. And the theory, Jamal Britt was the only one who, in theory, could, but he just was not. He
No.
had given us no evidence that he was going to do what he needed to in those short hurdles for it to matter enough.
Yeah, yeah. No.
So not for like, what you notice at the top of the boards. So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say this. Daniel Roberts could very well give us a great race. He very well could.
Mm.
This
Yeah,
could be the
could.
moment. Because remember, the training blocks are moving through. So
It's
he
true.
very
It's
well
true.
could be at that point where now we're going to get that race. And if so, I'll say I told you so. So for that reason, here's my crazy way to go about it. I'm gonna go Cordell, Trey, Daniel, Roberts,
Really.
and and that's because I'm believing that Daniel Roberts is gonna just he's gonna break up whatever's happening at the top in the hurdles. Because like he's been coming to
Mm.
these slams and he ain't trying to just keep coming to be coming.
Yeah, that's true. At some point, he's
And
like,
he's
"All right, I
faster
got to turn
than
up."
Freddie has been in the 100. So that moves
Yeah,
him
yeah,
up
yeah.
a spot. So as a result, like that's why when you're choosing between the two, like, well, you take Daniel Roberts on that regard, but I just don't believe he's gonna like. I think he could win it. I'm thinking Cordell Tinch is gonna win it, and again, you just kind of balance the points from there. Trey, I think I have him second because I think it'll again if he wins the 100 and gets he'd have to get third in the hurdles. I feel like.
Yeah. And Cordell would have to do pretty well in the 100.
Well, Jamal Britt's gonna beat him.
That's the thing. Jamal Britt is good in the 100. He's not like holding it down the hurdles, but like he's that 100 is
He's good. Yeah, Jamal Britt's gonna beat him in that. So, man, this is actually pretty tough because like I'm thinking
it's
now
tricky.
like
It's
because
tricky.
now I'm starting to think even if Cordell Tinch wins the 110 hurdles, will it matter?
That's why
Like
for
how
me
much will it matter?
I have Trey Cordell and then I have Jamal Britt because Jamal is like he's I
Because he's
think he's
giving him
gonna
those 8 points.
I'm giving him the 8 points in the 100, and then I figure he's gonna do well enough in the hurdles. I don't know, fifth or sixth or something, where it's like, all right, he can get enough points. But you to your point, you're right. Daniel Roberts, he doesn't want to like he can't keep coming to these slams and like not showing up because he's an Olympic silver medalist. He's a world championship bronze medal. Like he's one of the best hurdlers in the world. So he at some point definitely wants to show it. So he could show up. Even Freddie Crittenden could really show up here where, he's an Olympic and world final. Like, who knows? But yeah,
And
I don't know.
and
This
we
is a
didn't
tough
notice
field.
we didn't even say Sasha Zoya's name
It's crazy. He's the
because he
original
won the
Slam
first
champion.
slam, but now it feels like that was so long ago.
And what's crazy is he got second in Miami, like overall. He was actually second place, I think, which is crazy. So it's not even like he fell off.
I think if it did feel like a fall off because Trey went wire to wire.
Yeah, that's why. That's
Like
why.
in both races, you wasn't looking at the tape. It was like, oh, Trey won this. Oh, Trey won it
Yeah.
again. And that redefines, again, that's how people see track. A lot of times when we go down to individuals, not teams,
Yeah, yeah.
I see the winner and I see the field. And especially if the winner is here and then there's the field. So like, I think that's kind of where it landed me. But yeah, that's how I'm calling it. I mean,
Yeah.
Jamal Britt is he holds the keys to the slam.
He does. He does. He can
Not necessarily to win it for himself, but he's about to win it for somebody else based on that 100.
Yep. Everyone's gonna be watching Jamal like, all right, where did you finish so that I can determine like how my points kind of unfold.
Especially with the 100 when the 100 when the 110 hurdles is over
Yeah, yeah.
and then the 100 is coming after, you can almost predict how your weekend's going to go from that point based off of how he went in his hurdles.
That's true. That's so true.
The
So
only
true.
way I mean Jamal Britt would have to sneak that 100 out and do something crazy in those hurdles in order for him to actually take it. And that would be an upset, but I ain't picking it.
Yeah, I'm not
So not
I'm
even
not
a
going
little
on
bit.
that train.
So
Hey,
but now
but we got the last one. I mean, we got the men's long hurdles. Now, this one I think is completely different because at this point, it's a one man show. We got two different races essentially. We got
at
the
this
man at the
point
top.
it's a one man show.
The man at the top is running his own race, and then we got everyone else fighting for the rest of the spots. This is like, is do we think anyone is beating Alison Dos Santos in
No,
this again?
no.
No,
We don't even need
like
to waste our time arguing it.
that's a foregone. He got 24 points.
Isn't
Like
that what he did
that's
the first two slams?
first two slams, and
And they ain't getting
people
nobody new.
nope, and people said because Chris Robinson between Kingston and Miami, he had run a little faster in the 400. So people are like, oh, maybe he can take down Allison, but like it actually wasn't even close.
It didn't even matter. So
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, with that in mind, it's essentially the same field rolling back. I mean, we got like
yeah,
one new name. Like as far as like if you watched both slams, you're gonna recognize almost every name except
yeah.
for what is it?
I think it's
Wilson.
Sini Wilson. Yeah, Sini
Yeah,
Wilson's the only guy.
Wilson is
But
the only new name. Yeah. So
everyone
with
else has been here.
yeah, so we know that's why there's no point in pretending anymore. It's like y'all lost to this man pretty solidly to the point where Caleb Dean couldn't even beat him in the 200 hurdles.
I know that is crazy. That's and it's like so.
So like we have to do 400 of them, like
Man,
400 hurdles. I'm like when I say couldn't, I mean it wasn't close when the race was done. So
nah.
it's like if you can't beat him in half the race, and we know you can't beat him in the whole race, I'm gonna just mail that in and say he's gonna beat you again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's foregone. Allison got this sweeping the slam, but then after that, I don't know. For me, I think Chris Robinson will probably hold his own. He's another one where he actually, got second place in Miami. And as far as I know, in the past month, he hasn't gotten a pro contract or anything like that. So he's still running for that money. That's my thought process. And obviously he's like insanely talented. So yeah, I have him getting second. And then I round mine out with Caleb Dean. I think he'll probably get third, holding down the pack, you know.
I'm gonna say the unpopular thing. Well, here's the first thing I'm gonna say. Chris Robinson, he is my second as well. For similar logic, he's been again the slams for him. These they matter a ton, and it looks like
Yeah.
it when he shows up and competes. So I don't expect that to change. And he's running with the same guys he just beat. So I don't unless they want to become new, he got to just do what he did last time. 4 weeks later, and he'll
Hmm.
be all right. As for everybody else, when you bring up Caleb Dean, I see his talent. It's undeniable. I'm just not taking him in my three.
Mm.
No, no shade. I mean it with all due respect. I'm just not taking him. I don't believe that in the 400 hurdles or the 400 that he'll hold it together through the race long, specifically onto that final stretch long enough in order to justify taking him over someone else. I mean, it feels like a toss up, honestly, once you're looking at third. So maybe it's like that's why originally I was drawn to that name
Mm.
because it does feel like a toss up. No, I don't think CJ Allen has the 400 speed
Yeah, no.
because we know nobody's getting 12 points in either of the events. So I just don't. So once you take that away from people, it's like, oh man, I don't think CJ Allen has the open 400 speed. I think he's a 400 hurdler more than anything else.
Yeah.
Trevor Bassett is in a similar boat. I think if pressed to choose one of the two, I'd take Trevor Bassett.
Yeah. Trevor is actually he's decent, not like a true 400 runner, but he's run some 4x4s, at least prelims for the United States before. So he has some, and actually he's a world indoor silver medalist when he was in D2 back in whatever year that was, 2022, I think. So he actually has some 400, talent. I forget what he finished in Miami, but Trevor's not too bad.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take Trevor Bassett as my third then, just after because I wanted to, and now I have the slightest shred of something to stand on beyond, like his Olympic trials performances, his making it
Hmm.
to Worlds, things like that. Like, I mean, because again, he was at the games, but I'm saying like, yeah, I mean, if I got to pick a third, I mean, that's my third. But the only thing that's a foregone conclusion was number one. Like there was
Yeah.
this is more clear cut than Kenny B winning.
This might be
This is
because
more clear.
yeah, once Sydney moved from the down to the short hurdles, this is like the foregone. This is like the clearest the clearest group right now. So
I mean, hey, I mean, y'all want to keep giving the man checks? I mean, he's enjoying his time.
he's having fun. He's enjoying it. I
Like
mean,
they fly me in, I run, I get paid. What's not to like?
they love it.
He
Hey,
better hope Bry Benjamin don't come to Grand Slam.
yeah,
Because like
that's
those are the
true.
people who could mess it up for him.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I
really
mean?
the
Like,
only people who can actually like take it away. But for now, it's like Allison is this is his house. So yeah. My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to the Final Leg.